What's up? How's everybody doing? Thanks, Mark. That's why I'm doing it. Just glad people are enjoying it and getting something out of it, hopefully. What's up, Patrick? Yeah, is it because it's earlier, I guess, Alex? How's everybody doing? So I'm going to tell everybody right now that even if you don't stay for the entire thing, make sure you're back here at 4 p.m. Central Time sharp for the screening of Walter's Revenge. Raul, so glad to hear it. Very glad to hear it. Absolutely. Today is thanks, Mike. Yeah, I saw you before the concert, but I didn't catch you afterwards. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So before we get going today, I did want to do two things. One is I wanted to recap what I'm doing, what I've done in the thing, and then also I wanted to put this website out here. So if you guys are enjoying my podcast, which hopefully you've checked it out, I found this podcast last week, and it's pretty similar to mine. She interviews, it's one interview per week. It looks like she's been going since September. And, you know, she's got an interview with Nick Platoff, who is, I believe, associate principal trombone in San Francisco. And it's like an hour and a half podcast on how he was successful, what kind of things he did, and just like how he won the audition. I just listened to an episode with Anthony McGill. It's super, super great about focus in your practice sessions. Anthony McGill is principal clarinet of the New York Philharmonic. It's just a really great, I wanted to make sure people knew about it because she does a really, really great job with it. It's very professional, very put together, and I think it's something worth checking out. Like I said, especially if you like my podcast, it's just more music-related stuff out there to digest. Also, I wanted to just go over kind of what we've been doing for the past however long. Also, it's daytime stream. Is this the right side? Daytime stream. So there's a little bit of glare in the back there. There's not much I can do about it. I'm sorry about that. But last week we did a run of the piece at 85% tempo and then worked on some of the sections, you know, at 65, 70% tempo to work out any of the details. Today will be a 90% tempo run. Next week, or sorry, 2 weeks. Next week I'll be in Florida, so I won't be here with my setup. Then 2 weeks will be 95%, and then the week after that will be a performance of the Jolivet, hopefully with piano. I'm trying to work that out. So when we started everything, for those that were here, I know a lot of my streams are on my professional page, so you can't go back and watch those right now. I will upload them all to YouTube when the whole thing is done, so you can kind of see the whole process. But when we started, we were working things up to 50% tempo, 55, 60% tempo, trying to do, 5 repetitions of everything for the first couple chunks. And as we went on the practice session, we'd go on to 3 repetitions, 2 repetitions, and things like that as I got more tired. So the reason we did that is to ingrain good, healthy habits about how I want to play the Jolivet. I did a lot of slurring early on, not as much as I'm doing now, because I'm trying to get it to be more what I want the Jolivet to be, which is with the tongue and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so we did those early repetitions to put a good foundation underward, and then we just systematically added 5% tempo, as we got higher, took away a repetition or two, so that ultimately the majority of the work I've done on this piece has been at 60, 65, 70% of my 1 rep max, my goal tempo, so to speak. And then we're just getting closer and closer. As we get closer to the tempo we want to go, we do fewer repetitions, so we feel what it is like to play at that tempo, but we still have the bulk of the work being done at tempos where we're going to actually improve. This is very important. We want to improve with the repetitions we're doing. And if we're running it at tempo, there's no improving at tempo. You're just keeping your ability to play it there. So I just wanted to kind of give a little bit of a run through of what we've done. And so I'll run this piece. I'm going to warm up a little bit more. I'll run this piece here, and then we'll run a couple sections. If there's any questions about anything, I did a lot of teaching last week, things like the lead pipe and mouthpiece buzzing. And I know this is a live stream, so for those that may not have seen that, I'm happy to go over anything again. So like I said, I'm going to warm up a little bit. If anybody has any questions about anything, let me know. Thanks for joining me on Super Bowl Sunday, and we'll get this going pretty soon. Also, I've been working with the miking and stuff. It should be better. Should be not as quiet as it has been. So if that's true, somebody let me know. I did some testing. It sounded pretty good to me. But yeah, let me know if it needs to be adjusted a little bit. It should be pretty present. All right, so we need to find out. Where's my phone? There's my phone. We need to find out what 90% of all these tempos is. So looks like the opening tempo was 114. 90% of that is 102. So here we go. This is 90%. Now, 90% should start to be a tempo that resembles the piece. It's no longer going to be so slow we can't really hear what's going on, right? This is actually going to be, this is what it feels like, starting right around 90%. So let's take that for what it is and hope that it goes pretty good. Cool, and then we're gonna go ahead and just play this as is, this lyric part here, as is. times 0.9. 116 times 0.9, 90% is 104. All right. Next section looks like it's 126. So 126 times 0.9 equals about 114. I did it again. Gotta get better at that. All right, so sorry about that mic thing. I'm working on it. The muted section, 146 times 0.9 is 131. Here we go. Yeah, thanks, Corey. Thanks for at least stopping by. So the next section, I'll make it a little bit smaller so we can get the whole thing on there. Oh, look at that. 113 times 0.9. Let's go 102. All right, so we won't do a mute for this section. I'll play all the way up from 19 to 21, and then I'll switch it. Sorry, we won't do a metronome for this section. What's up, Tyler? Okay, so last 2 pages here. I think I wrote, 128 times 0.9 is 116. 25 to 30. Sorry. Promise it'll be on the right mic this time. All right, and then the final push here. We'll go 138. 138 times 0.9. Let's go 144. We'll just get the faster tempo. 144 times 0.9 is 130. Well, that's a pretty sweet way to end that. Good performance, I thought. With 90%, let me do the math here. So 128 times 0.9 again. So, I'm within basically almost 10 beats per minute of where I need to be in 3 weeks. And that's pretty good, I think. So these last 2 pages, man, this lick right here from this, I like thought that was never going to be able to get that. That feels pretty comfortable. So I need to do this section again, slowly. Honestly, it all felt really good. I guess I'll just do my due diligence and do a couple repetitions. All right, so we'll go to the end first. So we'll get 3 repetitions in at 75% of the tempo. So 96. So probably need to do that again. 2 more times. Yeah, that's not going too well. Let's try it one more time, and then I'm going to do a couple of repetitions even slower of just that lick that's giving me trouble. All right, so I'm going to do a couple repetitions at 88% there. All right, cool. So I'm going to leave that alone for a week. What should we do? Anybody have any ideas? Anybody have anything they want to hear again? I could probably do the triple tonguing thing. I'm going to do the triple tonguing thing. I'm going to start at 18 though instead. As I'm having trouble with these A flats, I got to figure out how to do them. All right, I figured it out. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm trying to think. Do di di gi da da ga da da ka di di gi da. On this, the last K tongue, I'm trying to think really blowing through it. There we go. What's up, Andrew? Thanks for joining, man. Good to see you here. That went much better. I'm going to do that again. Now let's try the whole thing. There we go. Figured it out. Finally, week 10. Week 11, whatever it is. I figured it out. I just needed to blow through the K part of the triple tonguing. What a unbelievably obvious thing that I wasn't doing. All right, let's do this section, number 7. we're gonna go at, just out of curiosity, do you think playing licks above tempo helps comfort in the goal or the tempo provided? Yeah, Raul, I was just talking about this with a friend of mine a couple of days ago, and I've not really experimented with it, but in theory, it makes sense that it would help, right? Yeah, I mean, in theory, it makes sense. The only issue I have with it is if we practice above the tempo that we're trying to go before we're ready, then it would make sense that we'd only be ingraining not great repetition. So I think doing all of this work previous to it is necessary. But I think if you kept doing it, if you kept going, say that you had a performance on May 1st, and then you were like, okay, by April 1st, I want to be able to play the piece. And then you spend I spend a month maintaining, but even making some strides to playing it faster. I could totally see then your performance on May 1st would probably just feel super easy because you're going down. It would be the idea that if you want to be able to bench 315 pounds, if you work your way up to being able to bench 405 pounds, 315 pounds is easy. I do agree with that. But if you hadn't done the precursor work, and then you tried to bench really heavy, you'd probably just injure yourself. You know what I mean? So I think it can help, but I think you have to do all this precursor slow, in my opinion, this precursor slow and steady work to make sure that as you get faster, you have a foundation to build upon. Also, I completely forgot I was going to become Professor Beach to answer this question. So any other questions that are going to be had, I'll be happy to answer them, but I will become Professor Beach. Because, I don't know, I want to. All right. Does that answer your question? I hope it does. If it doesn't, ask a follow-up question, and I'll catch you after I'm done doing this. So, I'm going to do... I'm going to do this section here 2 times at 80% tempo. Salvador, thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. How you doing? One more time. Glad to hear it. I'm going to take a little tiny break and do that one more time. My face is getting a little tired. is widely known that Butler and Geyer's teaching relies heavily on having solid foundation through daily work on fundamentals. However, most teachers also advise their students to work hard on fundamentals. What is the main thing about their teaching that makes their students stand out from the rest of the world in regards to journal planning and winning jobs? All right, it's time for Professor Beach. So, there's a couple of things about, I guess, Barbara and Charlie's teaching. One, they're getting the best of the best kids because their reputation at this point allows them to, pick whomever they want, essentially. And so they've earned that, right? I mean, they're very, very good teachers. Barbara, I studied with Barbara, less with Charlie, but mostly with Barbara, and she has this ability to explain things in such a way that what I got out of her teaching was I learned how to practice the trumpet, really. Kind of what I'm doing here. The way I talk about it is the way I've made it personal to me, but I really learned how to practice the trumpet when I was with her and how to improve. So I had these fundamental issues in my playing, and I learned how to improve them and approach everything from this healthy way of playing the trumpet, right? So Barbara talks about the path of healthy trumpet playing is unending. Meaning, if you get on this path of healthy trumpet playing and you stay there, all you need is time, and you can basically get and do anything you want. I feel I'm a little bit living proof of this because, you guys hear me now, and I sound like I'm able to play the trumpet, but obviously, just like everybody else, it wasn't always that way. And so I've just focused really hard recently on trying to make sure that I'm doing everything the right way. My airstream is, making sure my airstream is driving everything, and so to speak. I think if I were to guess, the reason that Barbara and Charlie have a lot of success in auditions, is just because they understand how to coach excerpts to be played on auditions. They have so much success that they can basically say our method works. Sort of the proof is in the pudding, so to speak. If they hadn't had all that success and then they taught the way they did, their teaching would still be incredible, but their success sort of validates what they say as well. So I think obviously there's other people who do well in auditions, and I'm putting together a series. The first one comes out Friday, actually. A series about people who've won jobs and talking to them about how they won their jobs. And the episode on Friday is Jeff Strong, who is a Barbara and Charlie student. He spent time at Northwestern. But the other person is Tyler Lindsay, who studied at Loyola in New Orleans. And then he was at Temple University with Tony Prisk, who Tony Prisk was a Barbara and Charlie student. But, so I guess he has a lineage there. But basically, lots of different people wins lots of different jobs. And so I think their success is just in knowing how auditions work. And also, this is from my own experience, but there's just you just uncover everything. You know what I mean? Every stone is unturned with her. And that's a difference. A lot of teachers, I think, want that for their students. But I think Barbara is really intense about it. I think she doesn't, regardless of who it is. And again, they're getting students that can play the trumpet at an extremely high level when they get them. So when she demands this from them, she knows that A, they're able to do it, but B, that they want to do it, that they want this path. And so she can demand a lot from them because she knows that they are going to respond. I was certainly that way. When she was hard on me and she told me all these things I needed to fix, I went to the practice room and I fixed it, right? So I know this is a long-winded thing, but it's just everybody sees Barbara and Charlie's successes and thinks that it's something outside of the ordinary. And while they have a lot of success, I think the only thing that they have that maybe other people don't, again, is the ability to coach the excerpts in a way that work well on auditions. But there's a lot of people from a lot of schools that sound amazing, and they're really, really, really great trumpet players. So we have to also look at it through the lens of it's orchestral trumpet playing, right? Jobs is a very, very broad concept. Orchestral jobs, they've had an amazing amount of success. Are they putting people in big band jobs? I don't know. I know they have success in placing people in all sorts of different jobs, but there are other avenues of making money on the trumpet that other people might be the people to go to for that. So just sort of making a caveat about this, that although I do believe in Barbara and Charlie's success, and I do believe in them as human beings, they're not doing anything crazy. They're just saying you need to make sure you have no weaknesses on the trumpet, and then try to play these excerpts in a way that will be attractive to the committee. And what I imagine is the general population of people aren't willing to do the amount of work necessary to do what it takes to win a job. And I think Barbara and Charlie students do, because they trust when Barbara says, if you do this, or Charlie says, if you do this, the outcome might be a job, right? So they're more willing to go to where it takes. And I think it's more on the students to record themselves, to be really honest about what they need to do. Are you spending the hours in the practice room practicing smart? Or are you just practicing through scales mindlessly, not improving? Are you practicing the way that I'm practicing right now? I mean, this is week 11. I've practiced the Jolivet for 10 and a half hours, and I can play it. You know I play the trumpet really well, but this piece was like foreign to me when I started. And so I think it's important to note that how you practice, how you spend the time in there is a much better it's a much better indicator of how well you're going to do. And I think a lot of people, a lot of professionals would agree with that. You know, auditions are not necessarily a crapshoot, but every audition committee is looking for somebody different. And Barbara and Charlie have had a lot of success recently, but there's a lot of people who are winning jobs everywhere, and there's a lot to be learned from a lot of different people. So I don't know if that answers your question, Alex. That's just like, I just ranted for quite some time, but I just wanted to give the full picture and make sure that everything is considered, so to speak. So, sorry. Hopefully that made sense. We're going to do this muted section now. We're going to go 2 times at 80%. So that would be 146 times 0.8. Nope, 116. We'll go one more time. 80%. I'm not Professor Beach anymore. Sorry, I'm going to go ahead and take those off now. Okay. Good. I'm glad it helped, man. To anybody who's just joined, any questions, anything at all, I'm happy to do. In 15 minutes, we'll be screening The Tragedy of Walter. Be here 4 p.m. You're gonna want to see this. Let's just play the opening of it for funsies, and then we'll just relax until 4. All right. I guess I could just screen it now. Let's find it. All right, so here we go. All right, everybody who's watching, tag one person and have them get here. Just tag one person. And we're gonna wait a couple of minutes and see if we can get some people here to watch this movie. All four of us. Let's get a good amount of people. Yo, Patrick, I'm going to screen the Walter movie. So tag... Oh, Jim, you're just in time. If you can stick around for like 3 minutes, I'm going to play this movie. Patrick, just tag some people, bro. Let's get some people in here. Are you watching with Jen? Sweet. Justin, stick around. We're about to screen this beautiful movie. Let's see what we can get here. I'm gonna start it in like at 3:53 on the dot. Oh, okay. Mark Hughes, I guess that's how we're doing this. All right, sweet. So everybody just tag some people, see if we can get them here. 3:53 on the dot. 2 minutes. Why is it like that? This is going to be... So, what this is it's a project I put together with the help of some friends. Andy Stetson, Patrick Oliverio was involved. And we set an awesome movie we filmed to some beautiful, wonderful music. And it's sort of an exercise in how something ridiculous can be made pretty incredible with just incredible music. So the music is from Prokofiev's Romeo and Juliet. And we made what I think is a pretty emotional story for everybody to enjoy. So we'll give it another minute here, see if any of these people are going to actually show up or not. And oh, this is awesome. Here we go. Hopefully they'll just join in. All right. So make sure you full screen it. Okay, make sure you full screen it. Whether the second my computer says 3:53, I'm hitting play. Oh, here we go. I'm so excited. This is like, been waiting a long time. All right, here we go. That's what it is. The tragedy of Walter. I hope everybody enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed making it. Andy enjoyed making it. Sorry, Andy. I know you didn't condone it, but you're not the only one watching it. I was thinking Patrick was going to be upset about not putting director of lighting in there. All right, everybody. Week 11 in the books. We are going to miss next week because I'll be in Florida. So I could do like a beachside live stream, but it won't be playing. So we're going to miss next week. And then it'll be, so 2 weeks from today will be stream number 12. And then that's it. And then we're going to perform the piece and see how much of that piece we could learn in that time. So hope everybody enjoyed this stream. The amount of comments is overwhelming about this piece, about that video we just watched. So I'm glad to see everybody enjoyed it so much. I'm going to post it now, and we'll see what happens. All right. Thanks for being here on the stream, everybody. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. And we will see you, like I said, in 2 weeks. Take care. Enjoy the Super Bowl. See you later.